Hey peeps, how you doing? New video, part 9, Gobeckli Tepe, let's go. So, let's first recap what's been in the earlier videos for those who have just started watching this one. And where I'm basically, what happens is I lay awake all night and I'm just thinking, what's going on? How does this fit together? Why can't I fit it together? And then suddenly might get an idea. Oh, I need to make a video. So this is one of those times. So a quick recap. Well, look, in this video, you're going to learn what Anunaki actually means. Archaeologists are not saying the truth because they want to be insular rather than global. That's my theory. They're saying it's something else when it actually is something different. And we're going to look at some implications of what's happening at Gobeckli Tepe for the Adam and Eve story, because what's happening... let's use our raptor point. What's happening here? I'm going to dip this in the coffee, but anyway, that relates to Adam and Eve. There you go. I know what turns you on. There we go. Right. So these are Januses. How do we know they're Januses? Because they're not facing the wall. They're facing both faces can look at the face next to it. Janus pillars, and notice they're annular, because anything which is a circle relates to the planets, relates to the year. The movement of the heavens relates to the year. So this is an annus, or a circle, and yeah, very interesting indeed. Notice that's similar in our language, in Latin and in English. And of course the two pillars of Hercules in the middle, because it's the sky temple. The Sumerians called this An, and the sky god would have been one of the Anunaki. The Annunaki, depending on the story, are either demigods or full gods. And some of the Annunaki were lesser gods. So they were on Earth, and they found it being on Earth was difficult. We need some humans, so they created humans. And then the humans started taking over the planet. So the higher Annunaki flooded it, and the lower Annunaki said, no, we created these guys. We have to help them out. We'll compromise with you. We'll shorten their lifespan. The older Annunaki agreed on this plan. All right. Now, a lot of this relates to Adam and Eve. Serpent of Eden is the angel Samuel in the Bible. S-A is the root, like snake, like serpent, like Satan. But what's lost from the milieu is that he's clearly an Anunnaki. He had a godlike form and then converted into a full serpent by the older Anunnaki. But he said to the humans, you're going to be like gods. So something happened. We'll get to that. Here we go again. It looks like the pillars of Hercules are being depicted as Januses. And that's something that should be investigated more. Why is Janus associated with the pillar of Hercules? Okay, let's continue our recap. And we've suggested that's Jesus, a pre-Jesus. The reason is and archaeologists think the loincloth, the animal fur means that he's a... Oh, they must be Stone Age, because look what they're wearing. But of course, I'm saying, look, they're just trying to show this is a naked guy on a cross. Okay. And yeah, obviously people have said it's like Easter Island, so something funny going on there. There is no face on this particular one, but a recent one has been discovered with a face on that side, not on the two sides there, which we're saying is Janus's. But of course, we showed that the Janus... claims to be the Roman Janus is actually the first and the last, the Alpha and Omega. So therefore, Issa was a son of Janus in an older religion, possibly. And with the Canis, the canine. So even in English, we retain some of the words. And can means the doer as well in Old English. Ducks named after Deus. And so are hogs. Pigs are named after Bug. These were gods, because in European, animals have god names. if you really look at the names. A kid is a god. A kid and a goat. Goat and kid, very similar. Both mean god. That lizard's really looking at him. Bird is associated with the sun. You have a swan in English, and in Polish, a słońce is sun, sunlight. The bird of the sun, but it's also a phoenix. The story of the phoenix with the sun ball, or the ball carries a ball, which is an egg or something. The excavator. Yeah, Gobeckli Tepe. So here we have a problem, because the etymologists in the Caucasus are prepared to say that this means snake. 100 snakes or 100 eyes, they actually say that. And the Caucasus is where we get a very clear definition of the word Satan God, which is very unclear in the Western tradition, showing that it's a very old god. From the Caucasus, we're called Caucasians because something weird happened a long time ago. And just to highlight the importance of the snake, there we have the two. It looks like Mexico, Kukulkan. We know that Indonesia is very close to what's happening in Mexico religious-wise. The reason is Indonesia consists of island redoubts. It takes an extreme amount of energy for a faraway country to conquer some faraway island. Why would you bother? You might if you wanted to. Why would you bother? And lots of Asia being composed of millions of islands, and separation seems to have retained a lot of the old world religion. Now bear in mind that the snake, or the serpent, or the Satan promised, or the Samuel, angel Samuel, promised mankind, I'm going to change you. You're going to know things. You're going to know like gods know. And not only that, but you'll be as gods. And what I interpret from that is that he's basically genetically altering, well, you could say whatever you want, but altering the constitution of mankind into a different species. I'm going to change you into a different species. And then the gods say, okay, well, you're gods now, so you don't need us. Go off into the garden, play on your own. Do it, you're gods, do it yourself. That's the why they went off into they cast them out of the garden, because, well, now you're gods. You've been irreparably transformed by the serpent into a different species. And part of your transformation involves, and this is what I was chatting about to a friend just now, we're going to take your hair away. We're going to take your fur away. We're going to make you more aquatic. Oh. So the hairless is associated with gods, and that's why they don't like the hairy patches, because they realize they're naked. Oh, hang on a sec. We didn't know that before. Oh, why do they realize they're naked? And this is what the Bible admits, because suddenly they are, and they were not before because they had fur. So I've changed you into a different species to be unanimal, to look like gods. Okay. And the Bible doesn't say we've made you furless, but clearly that's what's implied to me. Tell me in the comments what you think. Samuel, the root is like serpent or Satan. This is the another version of the Satan in the a bit of a Grim Reaper in the Bible. And then we get to Anunaki, and the problem is, I'll show you something. Snake, nothing. Naga, nothing. Naha, the Hebrew version, nothing. Clearly a very similar word to Satanaya. Clearly composed of Janus, or Anun, the year, the month. the time god, and Naga. Clearly. And yet, to say that would be an admission that this older civilization is based off a younger nearby religion. So the archaeologists, dogma forces them to not tell the truth about this word. And you can see as clear as day, that refers to a snake. 100%. A group of deities of ancient Sumerians, Akkadians, Assyrians, and Babylonians in the earliest Sumerian writings about them, which came from the post-Akkadian period. Deities in a pantheon, descendants of An. So An is their Janus, the god of the heavens, and Ki. So this Janus is already there in Sumerian times. So I'm saying earlier, Gobeckli Tepe. And Ki, the god. So their take is it's a compound of gods. They're saying they're combining the An god with the Ki god at the end, and that's how they formulate what the word means. Right? I totally disagree. Based on literally what's in the Bible, there's a snake. And the snake is transforming Adam and Eve and changing it, which is exactly what these guys do in this tradition. Half human, half snake. Naga. These are Nagas. And you can read all about it if you want. Most interesting stuff. They may not be snakes in the Sumerian tradition, hence that's another reason they're not saying they're snakes. But, well, look, there you go. That's Marduk. So Marduk seems to be... Okay, so what is that? His pet? Or is it part of him? See, if I look up serpent... No. It's part of him. A representation of Marduk. He's a serpent. That's the evidence right there. You need to look at that as Annunaki, as Janus, Naga. That's the evidence. He's saying, ye shall be as gods. In other words, I'm going to make you half snake. What do you think of that? Oh, look, I found a Maya version. There we go. Ooh. You're going to know good and evil, and you'll be like gods. Oh. And then there's the thing about the hair. The thing which the Bible omits a bit. It doesn't really say why they thought they were naked. And they don't say it's because they literally were now. Because a snake doesn't have any hair on its body, or at least I don't think they do. Do they? So we're going to make you half human, half snake. And, you know, we can look at the appendage we have, or we can look at the microscopic cells which create meiosis, which trigger meiosis to create a human. Thousands of these cells that look like snakes. Did they know about them? And of course, when you lose your hair, you become more aquatic ape. 100% a true idea. And this is also why I'm saying humans are millions of years old, because if this is true, where's the ancestor? So if this is not true, they use Lucy, but that doesn't explain the big brain. To explain the big brain, you need to look at you need to look at cross evolution with sea creatures, sea mammals, right? And even when I was 5 years old, I heard that our brain expanded because we discovered cooking, so therefore we could have a bigger brain because a big brain needs lots of food, right? And this is what you call circular logic, because you don't have a beginning point in the argument. Because last time I looked, animals and whales don't even cook their food. And it's like... It's the weirdest thing, the weirdest argument I've ever heard. And that made us upright, because because suddenly we have more energy, or we need a bigger brain, so the brain would be weighing us down, even though an elephant has a bigger brain and it's on all fours. You see, I don't get these people. There's something wrong with them. They don't think through their arguments, and then they push them onto the public. And the guy who came up with this, very, very clever man. Very clever. I encourage you to read his book. He published it after he retired because, like lots of academics, you can't say the truth if you want to have a career. I'm saying the truth. Notice I'm not lecturing at a university. Right? Anyway, some of his chapters. Evolution and telepathy. Aquatic ape. Aquatic origin. And mathematical, it's like mathematical translation according to X and Y axis between species. Bit of a polymath. Whew, just amazing. Have we got through everything? I think we have. I think that should do. We've covered everything. That was part 9, Gobeckli Tepe. And what Annunaki really means. Tell me in your comments what you think. It means half snake, half human. He's saying to the fully furred animals, I'll make you as gods, I'll make you half snake. What do you think? And they say, oh yeah. And then they suddenly realise, okay, because we're half snake, okay, we've got this smooth skin, got this rounded limbs, round bodies. We even call our legs noggies because they're round like a snake, which is naga, nogi in Polish, the Slav language across Eurasia. Slavs occupy a huge area, even in ancient times. We're half snake. Oh. But that means we're naked now. Oh, damn. Didn't know that before. What have we done? Well, now we need to make clothes. Oh, no. Damn, it's not easy being a god.